Well, hello there. Welcome to the Red Couch Talk, Usama Hafeez. It's so great to have you on this interview today.
Hello, Angie. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here.
You're a very special guest, Usama, because you and I have known each other for a long time. Originally, let's say it was more than 15 years ago, we met on Twitter. And
Absolutely.
and I remember pretty distinctly that you said something like, "Oh, I think I've seen you on some other platform." I'm still not sure today this is true, but somehow we connected and and we became friends. Can you imagine? And then you started to work for us as well as a one of our brand partners.
That's absolutely right. It's been 16 years. I think it was back into 2010. And yeah, now that you mention it, it's been a long time. And I think I did say something like I've seen you somewhere, or maybe I read your name somewhere. But anyways, that was back in 2010 on Twitter. Twitter used to be a different place
Yeah,
from what it is right now. And I think we clicked, and you were going to start your own business. The rest is history. We also had a shared interest in Lord of the Rings.
exactly. And that's the fun fact about us that nobody knows. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so I think I had read the book a couple of years back, and I found someone who was like-minded. That's you, and you were looking for a person who was into web development, and you found me. And I think I was just starting my business back then. I had finished my job, uh, and I was looking for clients. You were looking for developers. That's how we started. I used to be a designer back then. I used to do designing as well as development. And you wanted a logo and some flyers and posters.
Almost everything. Yeah, it almost everything started with you. We had uh, you were developing a platform at the time called Jawap, and you showed it to me
That's right.
while I was still working at a consulting company, and I was quite impressed about how you actually set this up and how everything worked. Um, but then when I started the blog, Global People Transitions, we had an attack, a malware attack. And someone mentioned to me, "Oh, you need a web designer to help you out." And then I realized, yeah, I know already a web designer. And that's why I contacted you initially. And yeah, and then, you've been there ever since. Whenever I have a nervous breakdown because of technology, you are on standby. So, what is your why? How did you get into this profession in the first place?
So when I was 8 years old, my uncle, he he had a black and white monitor back then. It
Uh-huh.
was the olden times. So and I was pestering him to put some game on the computer. I was 8 years old, and he was working in a programming language called QBASIC.
Uh-huh.
And just to get me to stop annoying him, he introduced me to the language. Little did he know that I would delve into the language. I would annoy him even more because it excited me so much that I could tell the computer what I wanted it to do, and it would do exactly that. I got fascinated, and since then I got into really thick books, which annoyed my parents because I really got into programming, and then after that into 3D design and web designing and so on. And programming has been my passion since then,
Um,
even like now.
Gemini did some research on you and decided to call you the Laravel Whisperer. I think that's pretty amazing for
Uh,
marketing. So how did you become a Laravel Whisperer?
uh, yeah. So Wayne, when I was in school, I was into programming and so on, and then I joined GIKI, GIKI,
Hmm.
and I got my degree in computer engineering. But interestingly, I got into web applications after my degree.
Hmm.
So back then, the web was more exciting than just desktop applications and computer software. Uh, so I thought that was the future, and I got into web development. I started when I was in university, uh, but when I got my first job, I was working on the product for the company. They had their own product. I started on that. Then I became the lead developer in like 2 3 months. But I got really interested in that, and soon after, I left the job and I worked on Java, which you mentioned.
Hmm.
So that was my first project. It was also a web application. Anyways, you're talking about Laravel. So Laravel, I think I got into that back in 2014,
Hmm.
2014 and 2015. It's a PHP framework, and it's a beautiful framework. I
Hmm.
mean, you really enjoy working in that. Uh, which reminds me, the RockMe app. I initially started on that in another framework called Code Igniter, but I convinced you to shift to Laravel because it's so much better and it's faster. It's really organized, and uh, they used to call themselves the framework for artisans, which really makes sense because.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's how I got into it, and I fully delved into it and researched, and almost all of the work I do is in Laravel.
Maybe we should explain to the audience that the RockMe app is our client platform. Um, so you basically developed it based on what I wanted. So
That's
it's
absolutely
like a
right.
custom suit for a global coaching company that hasn't existed yet. Yeah. We
Yeah.
could say that, right? It's like it's custom built for us, for our purposes. And it grows and changes and morphs year after year. And we've now tested it for probably 8 years. I think we started in 2017. So,
That's right.
oh God, no, no, then it's almost 10 years. Uh-huh. It's almost a
Almost 10
decade.
years. Yeah. And the technology has changed a lot.
Uh-huh.
And it was your brainchild. And it's evolved a lot since then. Uh, it used to be pretty simple back then, but now it has a lot of features.
Yeah.
And it has helped a lot of people.
It's like a tree. It grows in various directions.
That's right.
I also wanted to come back on the book reading and your everlasting inquisitive spirit. I think you're generally a very curious person. But when I came to see you a few years back, you sort of picked up German in a very short time frame. So you could really talk to me in various sentences that other people take a long time to learn. So do
Yes.
you see
But,
any
but I'm
like
going to feel embarrassed now.
no, no, but do you see any I would say it's pattern recognition. Yeah. Is the pattern recognition in programming and in language learning, is that similar? Is that why it's so easy for you? What do you think?
Absolutely. So in human languages, we have those laws are called grammar, and they're pretty. I did know a bit of French when I was
Uh-huh.
younger, so I found German to be somewhat similar. And yeah, I didn't find German that hard, especially because I could. We have those sounds in Urdu as well,
Yeah.
and even with French, you have the sound. Uh, German. I was surprised to know that German has the same sound.
Uh-huh.
Other than that, yeah, I found the grammar laws simple, but I mentioned that I was going to feel embarrassed because I got busy and I left that project.
Oh yeah.
Although I
I
think I
mean,
had made quite a bit of progress.
we all get busy and then we drop,
Yeah,
hobbies because this was basically for fun. It was not like, you were going to do something with the German, but I feel like, it just shows the type of person that you are. You know, you're also really interested in various books, and we haven't mentioned that you're based in Islamabad, Pakistan. So over the years, you know, I also overcame my fear of traveling to the country because of you knowing you and your family. And I think sometimes, you know, we grow up with these images, the media images, and we have a certain idea of a country. And then, you know, when you see reality and it's completely different, this is also really a very good intercultural experience. So I'm very grateful that I had a chance to attend your wedding, for example, and, you know, be there with your family and learn a lot about the culture by being with the family and not just a tourist.
We loved having you, and it's not just preconceived notions about countries. It's for every single thing in life. It's for people. We make judgments about people uh, by uh, by uh, when we look at them, we um, make judgments about them, and when we meet them, they might be totally different. And this all it comes from perhaps our own childhood and what we have seen growing up. Maybe someone had negative perceptions about people, and when they meet them, it's totally different. I'm talking about this because one thing you might not know is I really got interested in psychology back when I was in school. And in 2005, when we didn't have YouTube, it wasn't very common, especially because the internet speeds weren't that good. MIT launched their open courseware,
Yeah.
and they launched a bunch of courses for free on the internet. And I had just finished my A levels back then, and it really intrigued me. And I think I finished their psychology course, and I found it really, really interesting.
Yeah, and this is maybe why things are for you very easy to understand when I explain things in the context of coaching and, you know, how we implement them in the app, etc. Because you have that background understanding, deeper understanding, and you're also curious. Now, if I if I count correctly, you have 15 to 20 years of work experience now.
Yeah, yeah, about 16 years.
Yeah, and um, if you know, if you remember back in the day when you were a young graduate and, you know, you had your conceptions about life and work and a few things, is there anything that you would say to a younger version of yourself today?
Oh, yes. I have always been, and this might sound like, you know, one of those answers to an interview, but I've actually been a perfectionist and not in a good way. Trust me. It's not the good way that the perfect answer to the interview,
Yeah,
because that perfectionism was a source of paralysis for me.
yeah.
And I made a number of bad decisions because of that, including what happened to Jawab, which was my startup back then. And at one point, I got a little overwhelmed at the speed at which it was growing, and that scared me. And I wanted everything to be perfect because I was worried if there are too many people and it gets hacked, I don't know what will happen, and bad things could happen, and it had to be perfect. But as I grew up and I met people and I met owners of companies, and I saw that everyone was human and everyone had their flaws. And that's one thing I would tell my younger self, to just be who you are, accept it, and don't stop. Just keep moving. Because if you stop, you stagnate.
That's very good advice. And especially, you know, around, I think perfectionism is, you know, it's often not really helping us in, and if, you know, if we want to progress, sometimes we have to move ahead, even if things aren't perfect. Like, you know, how we reach out to people, or how we develop the business, or the products, the things we produce. They will never be perfect for a perfectionist. Yeah, so we will always stop shipping things if we have this attitude. So that
That's right.
sometimes we need
That's right.
to,
And
like, we need to pressure ourselves so that it actually happens. Sorry, I
that's right.
interrupted you.
And no, it's okay. It made me think that usually, and again, I'm going into philosophy or psychology, I don't know what, but usually the things that you need to learn, you're often projecting on others.
Yeah.
Because before this project, when I was doing the job, the product I was working on, the company's product, it was an amazing product.
Uh-huh.
But the company kept on changing its design.
Uh-huh.
And every time they changed the design, it took a long time to uh, perfect everything and have it out in the market. But they changed the design again because they weren't happy with it. And what I was telling them was that I think you need to get into the market and just forget about the design. However, a couple of months later, I made the same mistakes. So, that's really interesting and weird.
Yeah. Do you know my trick for getting out of this paralysis? I just set a launch deadline. So, like, I just say there's going to be a launch. And then, I'm inviting a bunch of people. And then, we have to do something. We have to launch something. Yeah. I mean, one of the first books that came out, Global Career Workbook, I'm sure you remember it because you designed the cover. Just going to hold it up for the audience. It's now also 10 years old. The books arrived on the day of the launch, and I still had to pick them up from the post office, or one of my friends had to go to the post office to pick up the parcel. And then there was a printing error. So some of the designs weren't printed. So we gave them out for free at the book launch. But it didn't matter. It was still fun. It was still a success. It was still a huge, great party. So
Yeah.
at some point, I think we just need to let go. And
We need to eat the frog.
yeah, that too. Yeah, eat the
Brian
frog and let
Tracy's book,
go.
Eat the
Yeah.
Frog. Yeah.
And one of, I think one of the major challenges that most startup entrepreneurs face, and now, you and I were no longer like in the startup phase, we're a bit more, let's say, mature. Our businesses have been there for a long time. But one of the things, we always face is business development. So how do you network to get clients?
Well, since the start, I have been relying on word of mouth, and I have maybe I've been lucky that I have gotten a lot of clients and prospects from word of mouth. But apart from that, I don't think I have succeeded that much. I'm on LinkedIn, and I am trying to write blog posts because I know I have a lot to share, and I have a lot of experience in this matter. But networking, I think being an introvert has been a bit of something I need to work on.
Do you notice that AI has a big influence on how you work? And has it changed a lot the way you worked in the last few years? You mean you told us about ChatGPT when nobody else was talking about it. So I'm sure you were ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I mean, when ChatGPT came out, it was really fascinating because before that, the way we program is we write if and else rules. So we say if this happens, then you do this. If this happens, then you do this. And the way AI works is totally different. So AI is trained. It's designed in the way your brain is designed. So you have neurons, and those neurons are connected, and then you have input neurons and you have output neurons. So instead of designing that if this happens, you do this, you give the input and you give the output. You give sample inputs and sample outputs, and the neurons, the neural network, it trains. So with ChatGPT, it was really fascinating because before then, it you didn't even have something that would reply with correct English. So this did a lot more, and now it's so useful. Getting back to your question, yes, it has changed how I work now. We have Claude Code and we have other systems which people use to program. And you might have heard of wipe coding. Uh, wipe coding is when the non-technical people they write code. Or
Okay.
actually, not really that. Wipe coding is like when you don't touch the code. Just sit down and you say what needs to be done, and Claude Code or ChatGPT it codes for you. So that has really started changing the world. It's not perfect. People are doing that, but there are a lot of problems with that right now. It might change in the future. But right now, as a programmer, we do use Cloud Code and ChatGPT to code for us. Then we review the code, um, and it's gotten quite good now. It's fascinating how much things are changing.
So you apply it, but then you still check what it does?
Absolutely, we have to monitor everything it produces, and there are huge number of people who are not reviewing the results because it codes so fast that if you start reviewing it, you're going to slow yourself down. And so, but it gives the illusion that everything is right. If you have talked to ChatGPT, it has that confidence, and everything it seems like it's whatever it's saying is right until you ask it about something that you are an expert of, and then you realize, well, it sounded very confident, but that's not really true. So the same applies in programming. Uh, it Quite a lot of work it does is good, and the more expensive models they produce some good code, but then if you keep using that, eventually you get to a point where you're like, okay, I need to do this all over again because the individual bits are really good, but them combined together as a network, they might not be that good. You might have security issues in your code, or the code won't be scalable. So if you have a lot of users and you move forward, you'll have to start all over again.
Okay. So no full reliance yet on the robots.
Absolutely not.
And do you think the world is doomed because of the advent of AI? What's your worldview on this topic?
I had a feeling you were going to ask that. um,
Why?
because they're still robots. Yeah, and they're not our masters yet. uh, we could be doomed. Well, a couple of weeks ago, this thing happened. I don't know if you heard about it, uh, where um, the creators of Claude Code are Anthropic.
Yeah.
So Pentagon, they um, they tried to get them to agree to a couple of things, but Anthropic said no, we're not going to do that. So Trump threatened them with being marked a threat to supply or something like that, and they went with OpenAI, ChatGPT, and OpenAI initially resisted, but a couple of hours ago they were like, okay, sure, no problem. So, as for the question, are we doomed? That depends on uh, those at the top right now. I mean, like if all the missiles and everything is being handed over to AI, we're in trouble because uh, once the missiles have left, once the damage has been done, the bot will say, "Oops, sorry, I attacked the wrong country."
Oops, I accidentally
Yeah,
pressed the red button.
yeah, yeah. There's this
Hey,
joke about that.
ChatGPT, are you sure you did the right thing? Oh, now that you mention it, I probably made a mistake. Sorry.
That's absolutely right. It happened to me. I wanted I wanted to increase the size of my hard drive, and So Claude Code has this ability where you can put images in that. I mean, it was a couple of months back. So I took a picture of my laptop. I am not good with hardware stuff. So I gave the picture to Claude Code, and I said, "Okay, do you think it has another slot for the hard drive?" And then when I did that, I got a red message that unable to read the image you sent. However, it replied, "Oh yes, I see you have another slot there. You can put another hard drive." I said, "Are you sure you're not making that up?" "You're right." So I couldn't read the image. I posted this on LinkedIn. And so there's a joke about this. If you make ChatGPT the surgeon, and after the operation, you're going to be like, you had to you remove my right kidney, but I think you cut open the left one. Oh, sorry, let me open the right kidney. Let me take it out now. So you're going to
Yeah,
be in trouble.
yeah. And there is a bit of hallucination going on. I think we
Yeah.
have experienced that, and also a lot of exaggeration. So we have to, I
That's
think
right.
we have to tone down the noise a little bit with the AI sometimes. So Osama, if you look back at your journey, I mean, you're not a typical expat. You know what an expat is, but you have traveled to other countries. I think you also enjoy traveling. There anything that you know you have planned in the future? Do you want to go to some other countries? What does your travel schedule look like?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we do have plans. Um, we always have plans. Me and Abhiya, we love traveling. So, not really sure right now about the future right now,
You have
but we
some
do have
personal
plans.
stuff coming up, some important things.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
you've been to several countries though, also on business trips, right? Yeah.
that's right.
Well, is there any place that you would love to live in if it was not Pakistan? Like any other country that you've been to? Where would you like to live other than Pakistan?
There are many places. Um, of course, Germany is amazing, AG. But there's also New Zealand and Netherlands. I mean, it's an amazing place to cycle in. Uh, so that would be a really peaceful place. And I heard that these countries are really good for autistic children as well, because my son's autistic.
Yeah,
So that's also a factor that comes into play.
yeah.
Um,
And
and of course, Canada.
what is your next big event? What have you got coming up? Anything you want to share
Uh,
with our audience?
Not right now. I mean, I'm working on my professional stuff right now. So nothing personal I'd like to share right now.
Do
Maybe soon.
you, yeah, so go ahead, sorry.
Maybe soon.
Do you want or is it okay if anyone who's interested in what you do connects with you on LinkedIn?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
They can join my LinkedIn. I think you can post it in the description.
will do. Yeah,
They can look me up by Usama Hafeez. My website is usama.info. Usama with a U, USAMA. Um, would really like it if you people connect with me.
perfect. So we will link to your website and your LinkedIn profile. And I
All
wish
right.
you all the best for your upcoming adventures and also discoveries with AI, whatever you're working on. It was great to have you here as a guest today, Osama. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Angie. It was really nice being here. Thank you.